With the beginning of each new day, Yah is focused upon those who are in his covenant and who are to be a part of his coming kingdom, more so than even the world's rulers, presidents, and kings. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, finishing up Torah portion Va'era. Today we'll focus a little in chapter 8 and then in chapter number 9. As Moshe stands before Pharaoh, Yah says, I will make you an Elohim, and Aaron will be your prophet. Pharaoh looks at these two unkept men by comparison to his grandeur and his eloquence. And he thinks himself, I have to be of greater power than they, and even more so than that of their supposed Elohim. Is Moshe capable, he may reason, of just guessing very well about certain disasters that will come upon the land? Or is he a very skilled magician, even more powerful than those who serve me in my court? Yah is playing this man and shaking him like a rag doll, and he has no clue as to what's getting ready to happen to him. So we've seen blood. We've seen frogs. We've seen flies. We've seen gnats. We have seen, as we read this, pestilence upon the cattle and the livestock. We see a shaking coming in the place of great hail that are gigantic ice balls hitting the earth, large enough to break down trees and destroy crops. When they hit the ground, they burst open and fire runs along the ground, accompanied by thunder that shakes the land. And Pharaoh is finally terrified. Yah says, I'm going to put a ransom, a distinction between your people and my people. Now, Pharaoh has a very anti-Semitic heart in which he references those people. He sees this distinction between those who are his and those that are not. There is something else taking place that maybe is between the lines that we're not absolutely reading about. The same people that were argumentative at Moshe just recently in last week's Torah portion. Why don't you stop this? You need to back off. You're making life harder for us. Now that the lines of distinction are beginning to be set up, and they're seeing Mitzrayim come under judgment, but they themselves become spared, perhaps they're beginning to look at Moshe with a different eye. Maybe they're beginning to understand, wait a minute, maybe the Elohim of our fathers is indeed involved, and maybe indeed we're going to be delivered. Now, in the book of Revelation, there are some interesting parallels that are written, especially in Revelation chapter 16, when the bowls are poured out upon the earth. In the first bowl, sores come upon the inhabitants of the earth, those who worship the beast and have his mark. This showed up upon the people of Pharaoh, those that were adamant that Pharaoh is our king. And no matter what mighty one of some other people, of those people show up, we're going to follow Pharaoh. The boils came upon them. We also find a bowl that turns waters into blood. We see that there are other plagues that show up, such as the great hail that falls in the seventh bowl. We find that the parallels don't cease there. There is a verse over in chapter 14 and verse 12 that says, here is the endurance of the set-apart ones. Here are those guarding the commands of Elohim and the belief of Yeshua. That's what sets us apart. That's what causes most people to look at us and say, those people. The uniqueness of our focus and world perspective, our hope and our trust. Number one, we're being called to endure. When trying times come, are you willing to endure? Right now, here in America, things look good. The horizon looks enjoyable, promising. The economy is good. If we can ever get this political situation worked out in D.C. about whether Trump is going to be kept or he is going to be impeached and thrown from office, if this thing works out as most suppose it will, I envision that there is going to be great celebration in a lot of places. People are going to be very happy. The economy is going to continue to roar. The wall is going to continue to be built. Illegal immigration is going to continue to plummet. We're going to see some world trade situations that are going to greatly improve. And people are going to relax and feel very good about themselves and their future. Make no mistake about it. No matter how good things may appear, the kingdom must come. And in order for the kingdom to come and to be widely embraced by those that are called by the name of Yah Elohim, there has to be a breaking down of Mitzrayim. Now, how is that going to take place? The book of Revelation gives us an understanding of how that the systems of this world are going to become inundated by a beast mindset. It's already in the earth, has been so. In 1st Yochanan, we read about that it was present in Yochanan's day, and it's yet to come. It's already being manifested in the midst of us. This system's going to work and work until it overtakes, and the world is going to follow after it. And that day, are you willing to be distinct? Are you willing to be ransomed by Yah? In the beginnings, it would appear perhaps that what the world suffers through, that we do as well. But Yah will make a line of distinction. Professor Emeritus, Professor Snyder, his first name escapes me, Neil Snyder, from the University of Virginia, spoke at House of David many years ago. And in his teaching on his name is Yahweh, as he says, he made a statement that I have never forgotten. And he said, there is coming the absolute polarization of the earth. Those that are going to receive the mark of the beast on one opposite side, and then on the other, those who carried the mark of Elohim. Every man, woman, and child in the earth is going to receive one of those two marks. Which one are you going to serve? Which one are you going to receive? In order to receive the mark of Elohim, you're going to have to be willing to endure. You're going to have to be willing to walk in his commands. And you're going to need to be found in the belief, the life, and the practice of Yeshua the Messiah. There is no in between. You are either going to be among, quote unquote, those people, or we're going to fall in step with everyone else. Yah says to Pharaoh, you have passed a point of no return. There's been an opportunity for repentance. There's been an opportunity for you to turn and let my people go. And you've chosen not to do so, but to harden your heart. Now I am going to bring all my plagues upon you. And no matter what Pharaoh will say or how much he will plead and beg, no matter how much he feigns repentance from this point forward, the plagues cannot be stopped. I believe that we have already reached in this earth that point and are now standing beyond it. All that Yah has promised to do, all that Yah has written that he will do, will indeed come to pass. The world may indeed experience a great revival. I pray that we do. It would be wonderful if tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions, would turn and begin to follow after Yeshua. Regardless of that, the plagues will come. The world systems will become broken. The beast system will arise in its fullness of power. And Yah will distinct himself a people. He will separate us. And we will be looked on with disdain, warred against, treated maliciously, however the world system chooses to respond. But know this, he who sits in heaven laughs at them. And for that we can rejoice. Yeshua, come. Come, Messiah, even so will you come quickly. May Yah bless you on your Shabbat, keep you, and give you his insight and his presence. Until next week, shalom.